Hi, this is Dodger and you're watching my show. So no, I didn't just randomly out of the blue decide to make my hair black. I'm actually going to a Halloween party tonight, so this is the spray-in stuff, which of course got all over me. You can probably still see like dustings of it on my shoulders and whatnot, but you know what, we're just gonna roll with it. Pretty sure it's all over my ears. It's whatever. On this show we deal with whatever. But yes, if you want to know what I'm gonna be going to this Halloween party as, you should watch Coffee Time. Shameless self-promotion. Our first piece of news is about Pokemon XY. If you've been playing it, perhaps you encountered a bug that corrupts your save games. It's really unfortunate. A lot of people last week were complaining about it in forums and talking about it really everywhere, about how if you saved your game inside of Lumiose City, a lot of times it would corrupt your game, it wouldn't save, and the only way that you could fix it is to restart, which sucks. So fortunately, Nintendo put out a patch 1.1. It happened yesterday on the 25th, and it fixes the whole thing. Thank goodness. You can get it in the eShop. People are filtering around QR codes that you can also scan with your 3DS. I almost said phone. But if you are using the QR codes, make sure that you scan the right one. That like terrifies me. Like if you go into the eShop, it's just like, hey, you have an update to a game. Do you want to do a thing? And you're like, yeah, that sounds fantastic. And then you click yes, and then it updates and you know it's the right one. But if you're scanning the QR codes, what if you're just like, Pokemon X, yeah, that's what I have. Guys, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work that way. Oh, that helps. Oh, that makes me yellow. Ah, that's okay, I'll just leave it on. God, it's been overcast all day. It makes this whole area just like super dark. Anyway, yes, go download that so that you don't run into this problem. Go into the eShop, it'll prompt you immediately. I actually just did that myself because I just started playing Pokemon and the last thing that I want is to be discouraged because everything fell apart and turned into tears. The first of two BioShock DLCs finally have a date that they will be released. It is happening on November 12th and it is called Burial at Sea. For those of you who don't know anything about it, it takes place in Rapture, which is where the first and second BioShock games happened, which is great because the first one is like my favorite. The thing that I think is really cool is they're not reusing any assets. They just decided, you know what, this is going to be like something for the fans that's going to meld the worlds, that's going to be really fun and interesting and allow us to explore something new, and so we want to do this from scratch. We want this to be a passion project. And I kind of love that. They're taking, you know, Booker and Elizabeth and they're reappropriating them into this story and they're completely different characters. Or are they? But they are doing one of those things where they're like, oh, this is episode 1, which I feel too many people are doing now, including... Actually, no, never mind, that's the last piece of news. I won't even talk about that yet. That's gonna be at the end. At the end, I'm not even gonna jump in, whatever. Just pretend I never said a thing. Never said a thing. So the Stanley Parable, I played it. It was fantastic. A lot of people really, really liked it. They felt like it was kind of an exploration of who we are as people and the choices that we make, and also a really interesting commentary on the games industry and just so many things. Such a really cool game. And no, I'm not about to knock it for being a mod at first, because I think a lot of great games have started off as mods. Gone Home. Gone Home was an Amnesia mod. Who knew? But anyway, Stanley Parable has sold 100,000 copies, and it was just released on Thursday, which is like pretty impressive. One of the things that I think a lot of people have been talking about with this game is that, so they released the demo, and then they released the actual game, and the demo and the actual game have both received a lot of good feedback. Most people are saying if you've played the actual game, make sure you also play the demo, because they put a lot of attention into that demo as well, and it's very different but still connected. So they wind up getting kind of double the feedback, double the good feedback even. God, I'm just looking more and more like I'm in front of a fire. Welcome to my spooky household. Well, we have planes. Oh my, it's very loud. That like shook my whole apartment. Yo, dude, get out of here. So anyway, some people say that there is no point in putting out a demo, that it just takes away from the attention that's put on the actual physical game, or that demos can sometimes be used to mislead people who are planning on playing the game into thinking that it's something that it's not. But in this case, I feel like it really behooves them to put out a demo, especially a demo that's so different, because then it's like they're getting publicity for 2 games. It's great. Okay, what about this light? You can turn on this light. Oh yeah, some of that, huh? NEWZ has been pretty much confirmed for Steam Early Access at this point, which is very exciting for people who loved DayZ. It's been delayed so many times. Like, so many problems, so many infrastructure problems that have just held the whole thing back. And so they're really excited to actually get this moving, and even though they say that there's no release date, the fact that it's showing up in the database for Steam Early Access is a good sign. But I'm curious to know is whether or not DayZ is going to lose its charm. Like, did it wait too long? Because obviously when it came out, everybody was like, whoa, DayZ, it's realistic, and like sometimes you run forever, you just see a zombie, and sometimes you run and you immediately like meet a guy who shoots you. It's great. Like, I think that that genre has maybe already reached the point where people just don't care about it too much anymore. I think that the survival genre is still pretty firm, so with that, it might be fine. But the just general zombie genre has done that. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm interested to see whether or not people are still going to be jazzed about DayZ, or if they're going to be like, oh, I mean, I did this already. Like maybe they changed a bunch of stuff. That would be great. But if it's the same game except like different, like cooler looking, I don't know that it's gonna hold up. Oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. Oh. Oh my god, I forgot there's a light in this hallway because there's such a huge skylight here. I forgot that I could turn that light on. Okay, so a bunch of information has come out lately. I can't believe I did that. A bunch of information has come out lately about the Wii, specifically in Japan, and how it's going to be discontinued. And it's stirred up all this concern of, wait, is it being discontinued everywhere? What about Europe? What about North America? What about everywhere else in the world? So we now have an update that it is only being discontinued in Japan. They want people to be buying Wii U's. They just don't want people buying Wii's. So they're just discontinuing the production of them. They're not putting them in their stores anymore, etc., etc. North America, Nintendo America, North Nintendo-tastic, was like, yo, don't even worry about it. We're still gonna have your Wii's. No problem. But I think it's a good call because even though obviously they want people to be buying Wii U's, obviously they want to see better numbers on Wii U's, but people just, they like the Wii, man. They've gotten to the point now where finally people really like the Wii. So they're like, we just started liking this one. I don't know what Nintendo of Europe or whatever it's called is planning on doing with their Wii's and the sales of Wii's and where they are still going to be placed in at retail, but I'm sure that there's a way to find that out. There must be, right? People have reached out and only Nintendo of America responded for whatever reason. Oh, also, the 2DS handheld is already down like $10. So that's a thing. I didn't even realize that thing like came out when Pokemon came out, and it's already dropped in price. It's just very sad. Okay. Oh my gosh. Are you ready? Are you ready for my favorite piece of news? So this week on the podcast, we talked about this a little bit, but I didn't get to talk about it last time on news, so I'm so jazzed. Dark Matter came out, and a lot of people were really excited about it because it was Kickstarted or Indiegogo'd, I can't remember which, and it didn't reach the number it wanted, but it still came out. Originally they were going to sell it for $30, they put it up on Steam and on GOG for $15. They were like, all right, here's the game, right? So now the game has been taken off of Steam and GOG still has it up but is giving refunds for people that are disappointed. Why, you might ask? I bet that plane knows, but the plane knows why. Come back, plane, why don't you tell us your thoughts? Okay, so people bought Dark Matter. They were playing it, they were having like a pretty good time. They were like, oh, this is fun, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, the game just ends. Like in a place that makes no sense. It just stops. Everyone was like, what? So then the people that made Dark Matter were like, well, you know, we just didn't have the money to finish it, so we just didn't finish it, so deal with it. And everyone was like, what? You completely misled us into buying this game. Like, the description on Steam doesn't imply this at all. Like, really? You couldn't just give us a heads up at all? And then they came back saying, no, well, this is supposed to be episodic. This is episode 1, and we haven't made episode 2 yet, but it's gonna happen, guys. It's like, which is it? Did you run out of money, or is it episodic? Like, why wouldn't you say that first if that was true? So now, are you ready for my favorite part? Because my favorite part hasn't happened yet. So now they're saying that they're working on an ending for this, right? Like a legitimate ending. But it came to light a few days ago that Their entire staff has been laid off. There's no one there to make this game or to work on this game at all. And they were like, oh, how do you mean? So now, right? I know, it's just like, so now, they're like, no, we've hired another company. With what money? We've hired another company to finish this game for us. Huh? Like, again, what money are you using to make this happen? And also, if you're not paying this company, if this company somehow was just like, hey, we'll pick up the slack, don't you even worry, buddies. What's to even make them want to finish it or give a poop about finishing this game? Oh my gosh, you guys, it was like my favorite thing. I was like, this is the deepest hole I've ever seen. Just keep digging that hole, oh my god. That's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. Please give me all sorts of poop about how I did not just turn on the hallway light to begin with, because you know what? I'm gonna be thinking about it all night. I'm gonna be at this Halloween party just like, man, I should have just turned on that hallway light. What was I thinking? Such a dummy. And if you would like to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope you guys had an amazing week and an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again next Saturday. Bye-bye! Mwah!